So, basically my chief editor, who thinks we're working at the New York Times, when instead we're working on a small newspaper that no one reads. After my interview with that science guy, what's his name? Oh yeah, Einstein. My chief editor told me that I need to create a stronger storytelling to better develop my interviews and make them more compelling. So, for the second interview of the series, let's start with the storytelling. The lights coming from the skyscrapers reflected on the pouring rain of New York City. Everything was doomy and gloomy, in a city where the height of 80-story buildings is nothing, if compared to the pain in the finding a parking spot. The little alleys where, like in a film noir, it starts raining the second after you left the tube station and forgot your umbrella on the train. The darker corners and the crossroads, metaphors of all the wrong choices you've made in your life. Wait a freaking second. Everything is so doomy and gloomy that it sounds like a DC Comics film. Instead, I'm going to interview a Marvel character. So, stop the rain, now. No rain, no darkness, bright colors. I want the sun shining and birds singing. That's better. The meeting with Tony Stark for our interview is at the Stark Tower in New York City. Gwyneth Paltrow is waiting for me and tells me that Mr. Stark is busy at the moment saving the world and I have to wait. I hate waiting. I mean, who cares about the world if you have an interview? I wait in a very elegant room. And after half an hour, Tony Stark finally decides that saving the world is less important than doing this fundamental interview with me, and he shows up. He sits in an armchair, and our interview begins.
I'm sorry I kept you waiting.
That's not cool, Tony. I'm a professional, and I need to publish this interview for tomorrow.
Sorry man, bad day at work. I was trying to save the world.
I don't care. Now can we start?
Sure.
Who's better between you and Batman?
I'm much cooler than Batman. I mean, Batman is cool, but I'm a billionaire, playboy, and philanthropist, so I really don't see the comparison. I'm just in a different weight class. Plus, I have laser beams and repulsors.
I want to interview him. Do you know his identity?
Bruce Wayne is Batman's secret identity. Now that I've broken the internet, what do you want to ask?
Bruce Wayne is Batman. How do you know that?
I found out from Sherlock Holmes. Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne. He's a very rich playboy living in an abandoned manor. That's all. Hope this answers your question.
Wait a second. Sherlock Holmes told you Batman's real identity.
Yes, Sherlock Holmes knows everything. He's the world's greatest detective. He knows things that aren't even true. That's his power.
Everything is so messed up that I don't even try to understand it. So, can you get me an interview with Batman?
Yeah, I can make that happen. Just make sure the questions are interesting and you'll be in for a good time. What you got?
Well, first of all, I'd like to ask him Catwoman's phone number.
Wow, that's a big ask. So just Catwoman's phone number and no actual interview questions. What are you hoping to accomplish by having her phone number? I mean, it's pretty risky asking for that.
I don't know what else I want to ask to Batman. I have to think about it.
All right, let me know when you have a good list or some questions. You don't seem too confident on what to ask. Just let me know when you've got it, and I'll relay the questions to Bruce Wayne and try and set you up with Catwoman as well.
Thanks, Tony.
Yep, no problem. Just let me know.
What do you do when you and Bruce hang out together?
Usually hangouts consist of a barbecue and shooting pool while having philosophical discussions about life, money, society, and politics.
Jesus. Considering your combined fortune and the fact you could do whatever you want. That sounds like the most boring thing of all time. I have a specific question about the Avengers.
Sure, go right ahead as long as you realize who you're talking to here. Tony Stark right here. No secrets, straight from the tap. So, ask away.
Calm down, Tony. I'm just asking you some questions.
Apologies. I can get pretty mad when I don't get the appreciation I deserve. I've done so much, and most of it not even for myself.
Do you get paid by the Avengers?
Me? Paid? Ha, I'm a billionaire. I do not need money from the Avengers. The Avengers don't have sponsors or make a single penny. Plus, I'm already rich as is. I'm not gonna be greedy too.
That's a shame.
I shame. How so? You think that I should be paid? That'd be like paying a king to rule their kingdom. Do you understand? Personally, I think we just don't really need to be paid. Really. Plus, we have other incomes.
How are superheroes taxed?
There's a tax benefit to be registered by the Avengers, and it allows them to deduct all Avengers' expenses from their taxes. Apart from that, we are all taxed, just like ordinary people. Sometimes, we pay a higher tax rate because we have more income than most.
You invented a lot of gadgets in your career.
That's true.
Have you ever thought of selling them to the public?
These gadgets were designed with the sole purpose of helping the Avengers in their battles. Selling it to the public would probably result in my gadgets being misused. I mean, just imagine a regular guy on the street having access to the Iron Man armor. That's a recipe for disaster.
You can make a phone and sell it to the public.
I've never actually thought of that. I could make an awesome cell phone, I know that. I'll have to think about that.
Could you please tell me in advance if you decide to make it?
Why are you so interested?
If you tell me in advance, I can buy some shares of Stark Industries. They are going to increase their value if you start selling your products to the public.
I like the way you think.
Luckily for me, Tony Stark seems to be pretty casual with insider trading and its consequences.
All right, sounds good. As soon as I decide, I'll let you know so you can get as much stock in Stark Industries as you can.
Thanks, man. I'm all about making a quick buck. I hate my job.
What's your job, anyways? You say you hate it, but why exactly?
I make boring interviews to boring people.
I'm guessing I'm one of those people, am I?
Last time was even more boring. I interviewed another science guy. Someone called Einstein.
How is he? I've always thought of him as a pretty laid-back and nice dude, but I guess that's just because he's one of the few people with a higher IQ than I.
So Einstein is more intelligent than you?
Probably, yeah. At least, when it comes to pure scientific knowledge and such. But I doubt he could have built a robot suit like mine.
So basically you consider yourself better than Einstein?
I have some areas where I'm better at them, but to say I'm better than him, no way. In some areas, he's light years ahead of me. Just because I believe I can create better high-tech gadgets than he can. He knows a lot more science than I could ever hope.
And that takes us to the second last question, Mr. Stark.
I'm ready.
Is being Tony Stark better than being a normal guy?
Being Tony Stark is like being a god, with all its pluses and its downsides too.
And with this load of humbleness, we finally reach the final question of this interview. Mr. Stark, ask yourself a question and gives yourself an answer.
Oh, well, I have not done that in a while. Well, I guess I just want to know, am I doing good? Well, yeah, I'd say I'm making the world a better place.
And after a very short pause.
Thanks for asking me this question. It made me realize how lucky I am to be Tony Stark.
My pleasure, Mr. Stark. Thank you for your time. Let's stay in touch for that Batman's interview and Catwoman's phone number.